I've never lived in a cage that didn't rattle, or a body that didn't feel like a cage. I mean, this is my home, but my armor, it feels like my skin feels like that 15 seconds of terror when I misplace my keys sometimes. It feels like maybe a poetry marathon in folding chairs sometimes, like I really need to get up. Be anywhere else but here right now. But my body is mine. It's a damn fairy tale. It's never something I've actually come home to. My body is mine. It's a political debate, you know? It is a playground by boys who never grew into men, so now my body as mine, a fairy tale. And I was once in a fairy tale. I was skipping through the forest in a cape the color of my own blood until I met my first wolf, or my second wolf, or my latest one. And now I finally gained the voice to tell other people about it, and some of them, they thought I was crying wolf. And now every invitation to spend time feels like false security. Like the choir of "Why didn't you call the police if it was so bad?" Singing off key until there is no such thing as a safe space. It's all just space, so I'm sorry I've been putting that between us. You seem awfully nice. But they say a gentleman is just a patient wolf. And yeah, you're listening. I can hear you listening. That means you've heard that I've already shook the hands of too many, even now, 14 years later, 12 years later, 3 years later, now 6 months later. Their fingerprints paint my trauma. I mean, their paws are where their dignity isn't. And now, you don't actually have to huff or puff to blow me down. In the airport, you know, they teach you not to let anyone touch your luggage. But I didn't pack this baggage by myself. It's just sometimes it's hard for me to let other people help me do it when so many before were just breaking and entering. They didn't realize they were breaking when they were entering, and I didn't know I was breaking either. But breaking a writer is a canon event, right? And I'm my own storyteller now, and I don't tell fairy tales. I'm just a fairy. And I learned half a life ago that even if the magic of connection exists, so does the tragedy of betrayal, the robbery of consent, and the mockery of survivors. Anyone can fairy tale themselves into a sheep, even if they run in a completely different pack, even if they hunt their prey at an open mic, even if a sheep's coat is charming enough to role play a good person. And in my pack, and hopefully your pack, we don't write tall tales, we write nonfiction. In my pack, we're human, but smart, and bad bitch enough to still grow claws, to still build cages. I never wanted to be a security system when I grew up. I never wanted to be a cage. I don't even want to be here. I mean, I think the rattling I heard is me trying to get out of all of this terror, but I'm always surrounded by wolves. And finally, you know, brave enough to speak about it, but I'm often talking to the pack. And they hyena laughed, said I shouldn't talk about my private affairs and my bedroom's business, but all I heard was not to trust or skip through forests or believe in magic. All I heard was be quiet. Your suffering is so fucking inconvenient. And this is your fault anyways. And it wasn't. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't your fault. We just believed in gentlemen, in friendship, in fairy tales, and wound up in a grim one. I don't want that. I don't want to be cagey or caged. I don't want to be a political pawn. I just want to be alive, or I want to be alive outside of my armor.
I really appreciate all